My name's Bill.
This looks ridiculous.
That's my best friend Ryan.
I want to be angry.
And his crazy old man Poppy.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
When we're off the clock, we're on a mission.
But we have a deadline. Let's get fired up.
To outsmart Mother Nature.
Come on, Wind.
And take on the chaos she creates for folks around town.
Holy cow.
The front's coming in.
With a little junk.
Look what I found.
And a whole lot of ingenuity.
This is great. It's almost like we planned it.
There's no problem we can't solve. This is BrainsStormers.
Good fire?
Yeah, that's good. Cool.
All right.
Good.
Come on, baby. That's spark.
Guys, I don't understand.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go.
It looks right.
It's not working. Are you sure we got everything here?
I bet you're wondering what's going on here. Well, let me catch you up. Today we're making a trip to one of our favorite pick yards of all time, Ken's place. We usually come out here to find the missing piece for one of our projects, but this time we're on a different mission. Oh, he's got everything. This place is awesome. Ken's got a problem, and he's asked for our help.
How many cars you got here?
I got about 3,000.
Really?
Yeah, I work on several thousand of them.
Wow.
Ken loves his cars, but he's getting into his golden years, and trekking through the 3 square miles of his lot is starting to get to him. Plus, in the wintertime, he's up against snow, sleet, rain, and ice. On average, we get about 5 feet of snow in Denver, sometimes even more. Winter's right on our heels, so we've got to get Ken mobile fast. Ken tells us he's got something particular in mind, so we're hoping we can deliver.
Whoa!
That's my old Jeep.
Is it really?
Used it around here for years.
Holy cow.
I would love to see it run again.
Is it still got the motor and everything in it, huh?
We put a Chevy motor in there, and we used it around here, but gosh darn it, you know, gas started going up.
Yeah.
I swore if it got over $1, I wouldn't buy another gallon of gas, but look at it now.
And now you're just letting this sit here and rust out?
Well,
or?
yeah, it's just sitting here, but, you know, I go past it and always have memories of it. We used it in here so much, but it just didn't burn so much gas.
Ken, you've got a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff that we could probably use. If we could get this running for you using something besides gasoline, you allow us to come back every now and then and get some stuff, just like a trade.
I think that'd be great.
Let's do this.
Okay, let's do it.
Before we shoot, we're gonna get this thing running and not use any gas.
The man
That's
just
what
said so.
You like a challenge, Bill, right?
I'll even let you use my shop. I've got all sorts of stuff here for you to use to pick on, too.
What do you say, Bill?
I guess we're fixing up your old Jeep here.
Oh, that's great. That is going to be nice.
Oh, this is cool.
Getting this Willys truck to run without gasoline is a tall order, and we don't have much time. So we got to get cracking immediately.
None of this concerns you guys. None of this at all.
We're not here to pretty it up. We're just here to make it run.
Oh, look what the cat dragged in. Ron.
How you doing, bud?
Been a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, good to see you. We need to come up with a viable way to get Ken's old Jeep to run without gasoline. So I called my friend Ron, who's really knowledgeable with old cars and alternative fuels, to give us a hand. This Willys over here is a 55, but it's been parked for, I don't know,
120, 126 years.
a long time.
So, you want to run it all alternative fuel?
Yeah.
Easy, right?
Today, there's more than one way to power our car. In fact, there are more than a dozen. Electricity, propane, natural gas, hydrogen, and biodiesel are some of the more well-known ones. But the list goes on, and even includes algae. The cost of converting and operating one of these vehicles can be pricey, and Ken needs something that he can run for next to nothing. Can we just all agree that this was a horrible idea and that Ryan's got to go tell Ken that he lied to him?
Well, I will agree it was a horrible idea.
Thank you.
But I think I have an option. What if we built a gasifier and we ran it off of wood gas?
A gasifier is a type of combustion generator that creates synthetic gas, or syngas, by burning biomass, like wood chips and paper. It might be a rare sight today, but believe it or not, gasifier-powered vehicles were the norm in Europe during World War II due to the shortage of gasoline. More recently, here in the US, FEMA found that if there were an extended oil crisis, a lot of people could stay mobile by building one with repurposed parts right from their backyard.
The problem is they use them on such small engines, we're gonna have to build a huge gasifier to run it off a V8, but it can be done.
Oh, this is good. Let's do this. Let's go get some hot coffee, put a list of what we need to pick, and get started on this.
Okay, sounds good.
Good Lord.
Holy moly. So we're just about to start rummaging through 3,000 cars on Ken's lot,
Divide and conquer.
and it just starts snowing. That's Colorado for you. All the more reason to get going on this.
So we need pipe, 2 to 3 inch, and then we need a blower with an external motor.
Wow, that's going to be a hard one to find.
Yeah.
Usually we come up with these designs as we go along, but blueprints for gasifiers are readily available through FEMA and other internet do-it-yourselfers. We're going with a downdraft gasifier. They're simple to load with fuel, and they should provide a pretty consistent source of syngas.
Car and truck engines run on vapors, which means that all the liquid gasoline you put into your car is actually vaporized before it gets to the engine. This is exactly why a gasifier is the perfect solution for bringing the Willys truck back to life.
Let's check these drums. Are any of them worthwhile?
Wow.
They're all kind of beat up.
We need 2 big galvanized steel drums, one to be the combustion chamber or hopper, and the other to be the filter. The combustion unit is where the biomass will burn and turn into syngas. The filter is a fail-safe step to remove the last traces of ash before the syngas is pumped into the engine.
Ryan. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah?
Nice work.
Ron's recommendation is to make the hopper by splicing together 2 empty propane tanks, and Ken's yard should be full of them.
Oh, right here. Shut up. That's solid. Yeah, I like that.
We've got what we need for the combustion unit and the filter. Now we need to find some parts for the exhaust.
William. Yep. Check it out. Blower motor. Pull it out from underneath the dash.
The blower motor is key
Whoop, whoop.
because it funnels the syngas up to the vehicle's engine.
Hey, Ryan, what'd you find?
Got a blower motor out from underneath the dash here.
Gotta hope it works.
We found most of the parts we need for Ken's gasifier, but since his yard is such a gold mine, we figured we'd probably stick around. So we're gonna make Ken's yard ground zero for this project.
Got it?
Yep. First, we're gonna build a combustion chamber. Now, this is where solid biomass fuel like wood, paper, and even peat moss is vaporized. When it burns, a chemical process turns it into 3 combustible gases: hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and methane.
Pretty much this is our settling tank right here, propane tank that we have over here. And it looks like if we just cut the top of this off, cut the top of this off, put it on there and weld them together, this will actually go inverted into the 55-gallon drum.
Before we do anything at all, we need to purge these old tanks. Any rust?
There's actual liquid in there. It smells like gasoline.
Hey. Go ahead, I'll help you. Holy crap, there's a lot in here. This is a really important step because you never know what kind of hazardous materials could be left inside those tanks. Ooh, we got a vacuum seal here, Bill. Ready?
Yep. Ooh, we have hissing.
It's gonna
You
hiss.
expected to hiss?
It's gonna hiss. So.
If you know something's gonna hiss,
Remember
just
when we
a
had the
little heads
propane
up.
tank and we shook it?
Just a little heads up.
I'll admit, purging tanks, not my favorite part of the job.
Fire in the hole.
Now that our tanks and drums are cleaned out, we'll cut a hole in our repurposed acetylene tank.
That's good, bend it off.
That was cool. We need to get one of those. Yes.
Once we get them welded together, we'll flip them over and put them inside the 55-gallon drum.
Good job.
Around to it.
We finished making our cuts, and now it's time to assemble the pieces together. Now, this project is really weld intensive, so we're gonna be counting on Poppy to do some key work. The welds need to be airtight to make sure too much oxygen doesn't get into the furnace. Otherwise, the syngas will burn out before it even makes it to the engine. The combustion unit's just one piece of this really big puzzle. We still have to build the radiator, the filter, and the exhaust, and then hope that it all works.
Coming up.
We're back at the ranch tackling our next project for our buddy Adam out in Southern California.
We just need to conserve water any way we can. It's nerve-wracking.
Nasty stuff inside.
Want some?
No. All right. This is my favorite part, guys.
What's that?
It's not lunchtime.
That's true. My second favorite part.
Okay, guys, what are we calling this thing?
I don't know. Moisture evaporator,
Moisture machine.
Moisture machine?
You always like your alliteration. We took a break from the gasifier we're building for our buddy Ken.
That's my old Jeep. I would love to see it run again.
And now we're back at the ranch tackling our next project for our buddy Adam out in Southern California.
I'm a gardener out here, and a great thing about that is the sun. Plants love it, but the limiting factor is the water. We just need to conserve water any way we can. It's nerve-wracking.
Southern Cali is going through a major drought right now, which means there's some serious restrictions on water use. So we need to figure out how to get Adam the water he needs without contributing to the shortage.
Ideally, this would also be water that I could use for drinking water.
Roughly 1 billion people live in areas that get less than 20 inches of rain a year, making fresh water scarce, to say the least. But plants and certain animals, like the Namib desert beetle, can survive because they've developed ways of absorbing minute amounts of water from the atmosphere. The nature-proven examples have inspired scientists to create innovative ways to harvest and collect moisture. Now it's our turn to come up with a solution that's going to work for Adam.
What's the relative humidity in Southern California?
Southern California, 74 in the morning, 62 in the afternoon.
Whoa.
Really? That's a lot of moisture.
74 to 62.
How about a dehumidifier?
Yes.
Relative humidity is how much humidity there is in the air compared to how much there could be. 100% means the air is totally saturated with water vapor and can't hold any more, while 0% means that the air is totally dry. Most people feel comfortable with a relative humidity of about 45%. So humidifiers and dehumidifiers are commonly used to keep humidity at that level.
Dehumidifier. Yeah, you guys are cooking. So what if we have a dehumidifier, right? So it's pulling in this moist air and then it's dropping down inside the 55-gallon drum.
That's a great idea.
So literally, we're going to make it rain. Now, fortunately, we've got a lot of gear around the shop, so we can get started right away.
The meat of our design is a souped-up dehumidifier, which we're going to connect to a 55-gallon drum. Then we're going to hook up a valve system so we can attach the spigot to a hose to water Adam's garden. And then maybe hook up a little water fountain so we can drink the water too, if we have enough time to figure it out.
See this little drain right here? This right now is where all the water goes. And it takes a little over a day to fill this thing up with the right humidity. The nice thing is that we have all the water draining directly from this straight down into the barrel.
I think what I could do is shim the bottom and that hole will line up perfect with that bunghole.
And then this one stays clear as well.
Oh, right up against that.
Can I call it something else which has a bunghole? Can we call it like a plug?
I'm going to call it bunghole from now on.
Really?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I did not grow up on a farm. I'm going to call it the opening. It's really not much better.
What does that have to do with it?
Okay.
We got a plan. I'm going to make some adjustments to the old dehumidifier, tighten it up, and put it on the lid of the barrel. Now, Ryan's going to go ahead and figure out the spigot.
This is how I get in on my work. Bill starts pulling apart the dehumidifier while I'm working on the barrel. Then we realize we got a leftover one from the gasifier, which is going to work better. These are food-grade 55-gallon drums made out of steel with a removable lid.
Nasty stuff inside.
No, it's just coconut oil. Want some?
No. Dude,
That's one of the best things you can eat. Coconut oil. You can put it on your skin. So check this out. Your drain, or whatever you want to do there, it's on both sides, and we can access the bottom. Wow. Awesome. Ooh, that's kind of classy.
While Ryan finds more junk food to eat, I'm going to go ahead and find some brackets to be able to mount the dehumidifier to the removable lid. Ryan's cutting up an inner tube to create a rubber seal for the spigot.
There we go. That's a nice.
And he's drilling a hole into the drum where it's going to attach.
Okay, doke. This is gonna be entertaining. I've got to crawl in the coconut oil and put this on.
That's gross.
Yeah. Crawling into a sticky barrel can wait a day. We're gonna sleep on it and then head across town to work on our other project.
Okay, that's done.
Nice.
We're back at Ken's junkyard working on the gasifier that we're building, hoping to revive his 1955 Willys truck.
Okay, so here's the hopper. Poppy's gonna cut a hole in this.
Yeah.
This is where all the biomass goes, whether you use wood or straw, whatever.
Gotcha. All right.
First, we have to finish up the combustion unit to properly burn the wood and collect the ash. Then we have to set up a steel piping system that's going to carry the gas to fill up the filtration unit, where it's refined before traveling through the exhaust and into the engine.
Fire in the hole.
Whoa, 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 don't drop it in the hole.
Did you drop it in the hole?
Did you drop it in the hole?
He dropped it in the hole.
After a classic Ryan maneuver, it's time to get started on the piping system. We decided to go with a standard zigzag pattern because it gives more time for that hot gas to cool before it gets to the filtration unit. This helps knock down the amount of particles so they can easily get trapped in the filter.
Woo! Well,
This
you
is starting to
guys-
look pretty cool, guys.
Yeah, we're on the home stretch, thank God. I'm tired.
And then it goes there.
Your foot's in the way.
Got it. Got it.
We got a lot done today, but there's still tons more to do before we can test this puppy out. Work is going incredibly well on our gasifier project.
Woo!
This is starting to look pretty cool, guys.
Yeah, we're on the home stretch, thank God. I'm tired.
But before we pat ourselves on the back too much, we really need to figure out our moisture harvester, which we're building out of a dehumidifier, a 55-gallon drum, and some spare parts.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Check this out. 40 pints in 24 hours.
No way. That sounds like an Irish joke. How many pints can an Irishman drink in 24 hours?
You're so offensive in so many ways.
Are you offended?
I'm not Irish.
So you're not offended? My family's part Irish. I can make fun of them.
I'm attaching the dehumidifier to the lid of the barrel, and Ryan's about to get all sticky rooting around in the leftover coconut oil. Better him than me.
William, would you be so kind to hold this for me while I tighten this up? I gotta crawl in here. All right, my friend. Go ahead, stick it in.
You ready?
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, and go for it.
How's that?
I think that's gonna be pretty good, bud.
All right. More coconut. Sure you want some, buddy?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you. You actually ate that.
It's like an all-natural cookie. A little something extra in there.
Yes.
But Ryan, we
Yo.
are ready to put this on there. When I say wait, I mean me. Oh, I'm scared.
Careful, careful. Slippery.
All right, well, let's plug it in and
Nice work.
You as well.
This was a good buddy project. Nice job.
Our moisture harvester is built, but before we start adding any more bells and whistles, we need to make sure this thing produces water.
Man, this is great.
like R2-D2's older, clunkier brother. Yeah.
We're just gonna let it run, come back in a couple of hours, and see if we were able to pull water out of thin air.
Let's go get a sarsaparilla.
It's like root beer, right?
No, they're not the same.
You want to put that on the trailer for now?
Yeah, I gotta make sure all this stuff kind of works here.
Is that the blower motor?
Yeah. This
Nice.
is the fun part. At least it's not cold out. Yep. Perfect.
Awesome.
We're back at Ken's shop for our moment of truth, finding out if our gasifier works. But before we light this baby up, we need to fill our combustion unit with biomass and pack the filter.
This will be our filter. I got the kindling here.
Okay.
So this will go on top of the grate, and then on top of that, we'll do the wood chips, and then the paper on top of that. This is made from recycled phone books, which is kind of neat. But otherwise, we could use like some hay, straw and whatnot, because this acts as the filter, and then you change it once it starts building up with carbon and all the sappy stuff.
We don't want any ash to get in the engine because it's just like any other contaminant. It'll clog up the carburetor, it can mess up the spark plugs. We just want to make sure that the fuel going in there is as clean as possible.
Okay, guys, you ready to fire this?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Fire going. Ryan, do you have to sing that song?
Fire. There we go. Yeah, it's burning.
Oh, I'm so excited. Good fire?
Yeah, that's good.
Our fire is going, and we do have smoke coming out of the blower, which is promising. However, we have no idea if what's coming out is combustible syngas. Actually, there is one way of finding out.
Come on, baby.
Bottom line, don't try this at home.
That's spark.
Guys, I don't understand.
It's gonna go, it's gonna go.
It looks right.
It's not working. Are you sure we got everything here? This is the air intake. We've got the radiator. It's cooling down the gases. It's going through the filter. The exhaust is coming out here, which is the intake that goes to the Jeep. What is wrong?
It all looks right, but if we're not producing combustible syngas, then we just spend all kinds of time making a huge paperweight. If we don't figure this out, well, Ken's Jeep is going nowhere fast. We're putting the finishing touches on our gasifier. More paper?
It's not working.
Once we get this thing going, we should be able to get Ken's truck running again, burning wood for fuel.
It looks right.
It's not getting hot for some reason.
We can't get this thing to burn hot enough.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Holy
Hey, Ron.
crap. So we're calling in our old buddy Ron to see if he can help figure this thing out.
Yeah, what do you think?
Wow. You guys have been busy.
That's an understatement.
We are so close.
It's not igniting. This is not as hot as I think it needs to be, and I don't know why.
Well, it should be pretty hot. It should be hot to touch. And it's not. No, it's cold.
So what have we done wrong?
All right, let's see here. Looks like all your welds are good.
Thank you.
Whew. Well, you got a lot of smoke coming. That's good. But I can tell you what your problem is.
What?
Was the lid shut?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do you need for a fire?
Oxygen?
You got all the caps shut, you got the lid shut, there's no oxygen getting to your flame.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh, these are cranked. Bill, did you tie these down?
You said put the caps on.
Yeah, not tight.
If I had left them loose, you would say, well, how come these are so loose?
Why don't we just leave these off for a moment?
Just leave this open until this thing's really cranking. It should be hot to touch before you even try to light it.
Okay. Yep, coming out here.
That is.
Where's your filter at in here? Let's take a look at it just to see, because the amount of smoke you got here and the amount of smoke coming out of there is not matching up. So let's just take a look.
Starting to get warm.
Yeah. All right, yeah, I can tell you right now what's wrong, bud. It's way too tight. Should be all that smoke going down and through here, but you're packed the filter too tight, and so you're not getting enough flow.
So we clogged the line pretty much.
You pretty much clogged it. So you built this whole thing, you welded it all together, and then you put a cork in it.
Well, there you have it. By packing the filter too tight, we weren't allowing the syngas to flow through. Sometimes it's the little things.
All right, well, that's not the worst thing that can happen.
It's not that bad. So just pull out some of this.
Sounds good.
Confetti.
Loosen it up a little bit so that you can get more airflow through.
Oh, wow. By unpacking the filter, it took less than a minute to see that our flow had greatly improved.
That's a lot more smoke.
Yeah, see that? It'll still take a while to get it heated up, but I think you got everything in place now. Once it's uncorked, thing's smoking like crazy. We got plenty of wood gas coming out the other end. Best thing now is just to mount it on the flatbed, and let's get it hard mounted and run it to the Willys engine.
I'm dying to mount this thing and see if it works, but we've got to get back to the shop. Our buddy Adam needs his moisture harvester.
Hot ziggity, boom diggity, what you do to me. What's up, bro? What's going on?
The dehumidifier.
Yes.
Totally works.
Shut up, are you serious?
Yep.
Wow. Boom! Success!
Well, you wanted to add the option of have it be drinking water. A filter, and a faucet.
I was able to salvage the filter off an old RV in Ken's lot, and he was willing to throw it in for free since we're helping out with his gasifier. Now, one hand washes the other.
Knowing you probably just muckle on to the end of that thing over there and just start drinking away. But some of us like filtered water, clean.
Did you just say muckle?
Muckle, it's a military term. One of the first things they teach us.
Condensation water, which we're getting from the dehumidifier, is some of the cleanest water you can get. But going from an old machine through an old barrel, it might not taste that great.
Cool, clear water.
Ryan will eat or drink anything if you'll ask him to. So he's gonna be our guinea pig.
I'm gonna try it. It's like coconut and earthiness. Ooh. I did not rinse that. Are those bugs?
That's probably the earthiness. But water.
It's not terrible.
Well, it'll be filtered soon enough and it will be drinkable. All I have to do now is inside the barrel, got to run the water line down to the bottom of the barrel.
Okay.
Repurposing the fountain pump.
Nice.
Cool. That's gonna be sitting down here. Gonna go through this filter. The filter is gonna clean all that bug water that you just drank, and then it'll go out the faucet here if we need it.
Dude.
Yeah?
Who's awesome right now?
Is this a trick question?
Yeah.
We're using a carbon filter to remove impurities in our barrel of water. The activated carbon will absorb contaminants that make it into the water. And the bonus is, it will also get rid of bad taste and odors.
So you're gonna mount that on the inside?
Yeah, so it's going on the inside of the drum here. I just make sure I got the right height and everything. Because the nice thing is, if he has to replace the filter every 6 months, 12 months, he pops off the lid, reaches in there. We can go ahead and put it in there with a bolt.
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be stainless steel or galvanized.
Yeah.
So it doesn't...
Then I'll put it in the back, even on this back seam, so you won't even see the bolt coming out. Is that cool?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Ryan's the domestic type, so he's gonna go ahead and clean this drum with a food-safe cleanser, while I go ahead and drill the holes to mount the filter and connect it to the pump.
Come on, baby. We will find out soon enough how well this works for him anyway.
And it's a drinking fountain, too.
I was just cleaning out all the water when I used this in the fish tank. So
The pump and the filter are good to go. We just need to connect it to the faucet, seal it off,
that is on.
and then cross our fingers.
Cables are free.
Oh, this is a big moment. Ready?
Yep.
Go down.
You want to grab your cup? Because this is totally going to work.
You ready?
Yeah, and it's going to be a while. It's got to fill up the filter and everything, but. Come on. Just got to give me a little bit of water, and I'll leave you alone. All right? A little bit of pure filtered water. It's building up more and more, so just turn your little drops into a little stream of water.
Quality drinking water from the air. You're gonna have to wait for it.
Are you kidding me?
Check it out. Nice.
Don't beat on it. Be gentle.
Good job. Good job. High five. With the magic of science, we created sweet, life-sustaining water. All that's left is to pack it up and ship it out. And Adam's Garden will thank us. What you working on?
Something you asked me to work on a while back. Ryan is always complaining about how cold his shop is getting. You know, I've been meaning to do something about it. And when we were working on the Gasifier project and we had to cut the lids off the drum, that gave me an idea. Want to help?
Yeah, it's cool. What kind of stove you building?
Well, some people call it a rocket stove. I just call it a good old sawdust stove.
I've been waiting for my dear old dad to do something like this for a long time. So to move things along quicker, I want to give him a hand.
Took the top and the bottom off of it. I cut this piece out of it.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah. Then I pushed it back together and welded it up. That will fit inside of there now.
Okay. Poppy's not the only one trying to stay warm during the winter. Burning wood for heat is an ancient practice that has been around almost as long as humans have been battling cold weather. Some of the earliest permanent dwellings, like huts and teepees, were heated by wood fire and even used simple chimneys to help control the smoke. Unfortunately, most of the heat of the fire would leave the house, and the room with the fireplace would often become smoky. But in 1744, founding father, writer, and inventor Benjamin Franklin developed a fireplace called a Franklin stove. It used a U-shaped flue to reduce smoke and several iron plates to increase heat distribution.
So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna take the first drum and cut both ends off of it. I'm making a 3-inch hole in the bottom of the drum. This allows for fresh air to come in and fuel the fire. Once that's done, we need to put some legs on the bottom of it so that it'll stand up off the bottom of the first drum that we're gonna set it in. And I'm gonna take this and make a door out of it and then cut a slot in the bottom. Okay, so we put this door in the bottom of the outside drum, and I have a pie tin in there that I'm gonna put some kindling in, light the kindling, insert it inside where that 3-inch opening is, and that's what's gonna catch the sawdust on fire. We gotta put the 6-inch hole back here for the vent.
Yeah.
And we gotta cut the 4-inch hole for the fresh air makeup. And then we gotta plumb all that in through that wall and put the stack going outside. Then we can put it together and say, it's done.
Okay. I got that email from Adam, so we set up the Skype call, and we're gonna give him a holler and see how he's doing.
Okay, sounds good. To help Adam conserve water in the California drought, we came up with a device that actually pulls moisture from the air and gives him clean drinking water.
Check it out.
We repurposed an old dehumidifier and a 55-gallon drum. We think it's great, but the real test is seeing how well it works for Adam.
Hey, we know that guy.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Likewise. So I'm curious, wanted to get a little feedback and check in and see how it's working.
It's been working great so far, and I'm actually making use of water from the device that you sent. I'm up to 40 liters per day I'm getting out of this thing.
Holy smokes.
So thank you, guys.
That'll work.
That's awesome.
Have you been able to use both spigots on there? We set up the garden hose spout on the bottom, and then we've got the filtered water coming out of that top spout.
I've used the spigot, and I've been doing some watering, but I actually saved trying it out of the filtered part up top for you guys. Since you made this, I thought it was only fair that we sort of went on the maiden taste test together.
Their ceremonial sip.
Holy cow. Oh, nice.
Check this out, guys. Look how clear that is.
I didn't have water that clear when I lived in California.
Whatever filter you use, I'd love to know, because this is incredible. It's like crystal clear.
It's just a standard RV, mobile home filter, something that you replace every 6 to 12 months. But it's obviously doing its job. That looks fantastic.
Well, good to know. So now I know how to replace it when the time comes, because I'm going to use this as much as possible.
Excellent.
Now, why use water from the faucet when I can be pulling it from the air?
Absolutely.
All right, so we passed the first test. It's clear. And now?
The taste.
Here it goes. It tastes awesome, guys.
Okay.
It's water right here.
Excellent.
That's
Good.
great, man.
Well, how's the garden looking?
There's a lot less guilt associated with it now, because I'm getting water from out here instead of underground. It makes a big difference. You guys ever come out, I'll give you some hot peppers.
That sounds good.
Yeah, well, could come join you for some fresh water and a salad.
Let's do that. You take care now.
Sounds
Be
good.
well.
Thanks, Adam. Take care.
Hey, thanks. Same to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Droughts are serious weather problems that can kill crops, dry lakes and rivers, and cost millions. Which is the worst drought in U.S. history? Is it A, the 2011 Texas drought, B, the 1934 Dust Bowl, C, the 1988 North American drought, or D, the 1965 Northeast drought? The answer is B, the 1934 Dust Bowl. The Dust Bowl was not only the biggest drought in U.S. history, it was the driest drought in the last 1,000 years. It covered 71% of Western North America and destroyed U.S. farms. Now, we haven't seen a drought as big as this one since, but drought is still a major issue in the agricultural West.
Adam's pretty happy with his moisture harvester. So now we're gonna head back up to Ken's to see if that gasifier will successfully run his 1955 Willys truck.
Oh, nice.
We've asked Ron to come check out our work since he's an expert in all things automotive, especially alternate fuel.
Looks like you've done a bit of work.
Yeah, we had to do a tune-up on this thing. It's been sitting for a long time.
Okay.
Now, what kind of setup do we have with the syngas and
Well,
whatnot?
the first thing we want to do is let's just disconnect the fuel line so there's absolutely no gas going into it, and then do the air intake set up for the gasifier.
Oh, like a glove.
Perfect.
It's funny how this Willys was just pieced together.
Just using what they had or laying around.
Sounds familiar. Hey. Cool, so the next step is hooking up the gasifier. All right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Keep going.
First, we've got to mount the gasifier to the truck bed.
Oh my God.
The next step is running an exhaust hose to the air filter and sealing it up to keep out as much air as possible.
It's amazing how simple this really is from a standpoint of just creating some combustion, creating the actual syngas or wood gas and putting it up here.
That's it.
We've got to gingerly hook up the battery, tighten everything up the best we can, cross our fingers, and hope it works.
Oh, that's tight. We should be good, guys.
All right, here we go.
Oh, please, 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 please. Come on, give it. Come on.
Come on, baby.
Come on, you can do it.
Good job.
Hey, Ray, great idea. Almost sounds like a
Nice. God, dude, that
Nice.
is awesome. You are not crazy.
That was a great idea. you had.
Good job, Dad.
Great idea.
Love it.
This is cool.
You know who's gonna be excited?
Ken?
Let's get this closed up.
All right, let's do it.
A little blood, sweat, and gears, and we were able to breathe some new life into a vehicle as old as our dear Poppy.
All right. I cannot believe that worked.
I just hope Ken is as happy as we are.
I want to test this rocket stove outside the shop because I'm not sure what kind of heat we're really going to generate, and I don't want to take a chance of burning my shop down. I don't want to make the same mistake we did with the gasifier.
It's not getting hot for some reason.
You're packed the filter too tight, and so you're not getting enough flow.
So we clogged the
Yeah.
line pretty much.
You pretty much clogged it.
I got my vent cut into the stove, so we have plenty of air intake to get enough oxygen to keep the fire burning. I have a 3-inch piece of PV pipe that I'm centering over the hole, so when I put the sawdust in, it stays in the drum and doesn't fall down in the hole. We gotta put the lid on it, seal it up, see how hot it gets and how long it'll burn. Once that's done, let it cool down and we can move it in the shop. Oh, look at the flames coming off of that. Holy smokes, that thing's burning. I mean, I had a flame coming out of that drum in less than 10 seconds. Generating that kind of a flame, I know it's gonna get hot. I can feel the heat coming out of this drum already. Oh, that's hot. Figure out how to regulate the damper. I had the ductwork in, so now all the smoke from the fire should vent outside. Just closing it that much, just got even that much hotter. See how long it burns. And if I don't have any problems, I don't see why we can't hook this up in the shop. So maybe now I can get those boys to stop whining about the cold.
Coming up,
Hey, Kenny!
Hey, Poppy! I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
There it
Look
is.
at this. What a bunch of guys.
we're about to surprise Ken by driving in his truck that he never thought he'd see running again. I really hope he likes it, because I've got a lot of free picking to do in his yard.
Hey, Kenny!
Hey, Poppy!
What do you know,
Look at
buddy?
this. Oh, my Lord. Look at this.
Holy
Your old
smokes!
truck is elongating again.
Yeah!
Wow. By golly, Poppy, that's good. Great
What do you think?
move.
How you doing, bud?
Oh, good.
There it
Look
is.
at this.
Yeah.
That's it.
What a bunch of guys. How the heck did you do that?
A gasifier.
I don't have to put gas in it, right?
You don't have to put regular gas in it, not the conventional gas that you used to have to use on it. It runs on a different fuel now.
Tell you what, you can use biomass, and literally we use just basically wood chips and wood, but You can use everything from switchgrass to wheat to all kinds of different stuff that grows right out of the earth.
This is my fuel supply.
That's it.
That's it.
As long as it says premium.
Oh, this is premium weed.
Yeah,
I like
premium
the
weed.
premium weed.
Kind of what Colorado's known for. So
I heard this rumble coming down the road and it surprised me. I hardly recognize it because it hadn't run for a long time. And to see that running again, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. It made me feel so good.
Just to break it down, this is the hopper, and this is made out of an old acetylene tank
What an amazing thing.
that we found in the field. Then you've got an old helium tank that had a hole cut in it, and that's basically your furnace. But then those gases come down through this barrel, and the gases cool, and they go into a filtration system. And then on that, there's actually a blower motor that we pulled out of an old International. The exhaust becomes the intake that goes into the Jeep, and you're using carbon monoxide, dioxide, and a bunch of other gases, syngas, and that's what your vehicle's running on.
That is great. Really creative.
And good old Ron here, he helped out make sure that we had the right system to make this thing run.
And you gathered this all from just here.
Yeah, everything you had
Get
lying
down
in your
here.
fields.
yep.
Yep.
Really creative. And this is what you deliver it with.
So exactly, we just have one of just an old exhaust tube here that we found by the shop. And then we turn that exhaust into intake. Ideally, we would kind of cut a hole up here and maybe run this hose up over the cab or something, but we didn't want to start hacking into your old Jeep here. So
So now I don't need a fuel pump.
you don't need a fuel pump.
That is good.
So pretty much we take that exhaust and we're using that as our fuel for the setup. So we've actually plugged that into your air cleaner here. We have fuel supply now because of this. Goes right into your carburetor, runs like a champ.
That is amazing, because I would have never even thought it would have started again, let alone run on wood. I think it's great.
Cool, I think we've got a little bit of picking to do here. I got some store credit over at this place.
Here we go.
Yeah.
That's fine, though. The yard's yours.
All right, cool.
nice.
Okay.
Thanks, boss.
Ken.
I'm really excited we got Ken's old truck running. And not only that, it's running better than ever and not using any gasoline.
I'll see you back up at the shop with all our parts.
Okay.
Take care.
And thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
And the best part is we can do some free picking in the yard. Looks like Christmas came early this year.
Do I get some of that credit?
You get some, I don't know, you have to take that up with Ken.
Holy smokes.
Hi, boys.
Oh my gosh.
Almost want to sit on his lap and tell him what I want for Christmas.
What do you think?
Feel that?
Dad, you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I even got a nice little place to hold my coffee cup right there.
What'd you do?
Well, I took two 55-gallon drums, cut one down to fit inside of here, put in a fresh air makeup outside. This whole thing will run over 8 hours on a bag of sawdust.
I thought you were sitting here eating popcorn.
Yeah, that's
is,
a big popcorn maker.
Holy cow.
Dad, literally, you can feel it when you walked in the door. I mean, it was substantial.
I buy you a cup of coffee, it's hot.
Proud of you. Nice work.
You can't play basketball anymore, though. I think you put it there so we can't play hoops.
Yeah.
Heat or basketball?
Well, I figured just move the basketball hoop further away.
Okay. Give you a little pat on the back.
Thank you.
Good job.
Nice.
You guys.
Good job.